So, okay, so all today we'll do all short topics of this orthopedics. Okay, so we'll discuss many short topics. Okay, so it's not related; it is mainly related to pediatrics. Okay, so it is pediatric orthopedic. Okay, all small topics of pediatric orthopedic. Okay, so first we'll start with fracture. So obviously, I had already told you what is fracture. It is maybe unicortical, it may be myocortical. Okay, wait. Okay, so we'll start with fracture. Okay, so if this is bone, this is one-sided fracture. Okay, so fracture is discontinuity of cortex. Okay, so it can be one-sided, it can be both-sided also. Okay, so there is no as such that it should have break of the both cortex. Even it is medial cortex break, that is also a fracture. Okay, so that's known as incomplete fracture. So if you have both cortex fracture, then it is a complete fracture. If you have fracture only one side, it is an incomplete fracture. So today we'll discuss about incomplete fracture in children's. Okay, so there's two type of fracture in children's, which is incomplete, which is known as green stick fracture and torus fracture. Okay, so we'll move forward and we'll know what is green stick. So green stick name is actually derived from the green this stems. Okay, so whenever you try to break this type of green stem, which is very fresh. Okay, so obviously there is no never bicortical breach. Okay, so if you start bending this green stem, it is always break from the convex side. Okay, so what is convex and what is concave? So this is convex side. Okay, and this is concave. Okay, so this is concave and this is convex side. So every time you apply force on green stem, it always fracture from the convex side. So same principle applied in green stick fracture. So if you see this, okay, if you see this fibula, so this is fibula, you apply force like this. Okay, you apply force like this, and there is a fracture on the convex side. So convex side there is a fracture. Okay, so this is a green stick fracture. So green stick is incomplete fracture in pediatric population where there is a cortical breach in only one side, mainly on the convex side. Okay, this is known as green stick fracture. It is not a complete fracture. Okay, so its counterpart is so the next is, so see, this is a green stick fracture. There are many other images. Okay, so it is like the same convex forces where it is a breach, but inside the cortex is continue. Same you go in tibia, outside there is a breach, inside there is, okay. Okay, so it is a bending force. Okay, so because of the bending force there is a convex side, there is a breach. Okay, while the other bone may be plastic deformation. So you are not related there is no as such relation to the other one, but it's just a diagrammatic pic that this other bone can be deformed. Okay, so mainly we are related to only one bone where the convex side you got breach, inside you don't breach. It is an incomplete fracture known as green stick fracture, shows the characteristic of a green stick. Okay, the other counterpart of green stick, so it is a fracture on convex side. What is the treatment? Treatment is just correct the deformity. Okay, so if you have the deformity in this shape, okay, you have a deformity in, if you have a deformity in this shape, you just correct it. Okay, you just correct it and just cast it. Okay, whenever you correct the deformity, it will start uniting. Okay, so correct the deformity and cast. No operation is needed in this type of fractures. Okay, because anyway child pediatric bones are very much amenable to healing, and because of the vascularization they are very prone to heal. Okay, so there is no big issue. Okay, so no operation needed, mainly casting is the treatment of choice. Okay, the other fracture which is related to him, related to this what green stick, so it's like a step brother of green stick, is known as torus. So you see, I'd put many pictures of torus. What do you mean by torus? So everything you see torus, many companies have a torus name. You see this circular thing is torus. Okay, so you should remember what is torus, because if you don't remember you will forget what is torus fracture. Okay, because green stick you have seen, so it's all circular. Okay, so every time it is circular, it is mainly related to magnetic field. Okay, so that circular magnetic field is known as torus. Okay, so in, for why it is known as torus fracture? Okay, so the pillars, if you have a pillars at home or you see in your college or anywhere, so this part is known as torus, this circular part. Okay, so any pillar which have this circular part on the lower side or the upper side is known as torus. So the torus fracture is actually a fracture where you apply axial force. Okay, and there is a axial force application. Because of this axial force application, there is a bulbous enlargement. Okay, so this axial force is applied here. Okay, and here it is immobile, so this bone will bulge. Okay, the same time this is a bulge. Okay, so this bulge is similar like a torus. Okay, that's why it's known as torus fracture. So torus fracture is an incomplete fracture. Okay, uh, where there is a bulbous enlargement, bilateral or unilateral. So this is known as torus fracture. Okay, it is always come along with this green stick fracture. So green stick fracture and torus fracture, they are step brothers. Okay, so you see this. I will keep. So you see this fracture. This is a simple bone. Okay, okay, see there is no discontinuity, you cannot see any discontinuity in bone. Okay, you just see this is a normal bone, and then there is a bulbous enlargement. Okay, slightly bulbous, sorry, this is the bulbous enlargement. Okay, you go straight and there is a slight bulbous enlargement. So this bulbous enlargement here and here, this is classical of this torus fracture. Even in Allah you see, it's very difficult to diagnose it. Okay, it's not easy to diagnose it. Okay, if the child have pain and all that, then the child have pain, all the symptoms of fracture, and you see there in X-ray there's slight bulbous enlargement, then it go for torus fracture. Okay, so it's not easy for you guys to uh, appreciate it, but you should remember what is torus fracture. So you see this torus fracture. So if you see in Allah, so this enlargement, bulbous enlargement is torus, while this bending and fracture of outer side, a convex side, is green stick. The same thing, green stick and torus. So torus is a bulbous enlargement. Okay, that you should remember. The torus is also known as a buccal fracture. Okay, it's not known as buccal fracture. It always occur in metadiaphageal junction. Okay, so what is metadiaphageal junction? I will show you. So see, this is epiphysis. So this is epiphysis. Okay, this is epiphysis. This is metaphysis, and this is diaphysis. So this metadiaphageal junction are very weak. Okay, that's why there is a torus fracture. So always torus fracture occur in MD junction, metaphyseal and diaphyseal, never in epiphyseal. Okay, so you just remember metaphyseal and diaphyseal junction. Okay, you see this again. So this is epiphysis, this is metaphysis, and this is diaphysis. So it's mainly occur in metaphyseal MD junction. Okay, same here also. So there's a buckling of cortex only without fracture. So there is no fracture as such you seen, or you can say it is an incomplete fracture, but there is a bulbous this type of problem. Okay, the treatment is same, you just cast and immobilize. In children's there is a high chance of remodeling of bones, there is a chance of union of bones, so it will correct itself, so you don't need any operation. Okay, so torus fracture, or you can say it is a buccal fracture, it is a buckling of the both cortex. Okay, there is axial force, अंदर से ऐसा axial force रहता है, this is axial force. Because of the axial force there is a swelling. Okay, bulbous swelling, you can say it's bulbous swelling. And the other fracture is green stick fracture, जहाँ पे you have fracture at convex area. ये normal area will be intact, this area would be fractured. So both treatment is cast and immobilize. There is no operation needed. Both occur in children's. Okay. So most common in children's, if you see fractures in most common in children's is radius and ulna fracture, distal radius ulna. Most common fracture in children's, if anybody asks you most common fracture in children is what? So it is radius ulna. Okay. But if they are specifically ask in elbow, in elbow which fracture is common, I told you supracondylar humerus is very common in children. Okay, so supracondylar humerus. Otherwise distal radius ulna is very common. Okay, every time they fall on outstretched hand, they want to save their body from the injury, and every time they put their wrist. Okay, so distal radius ulna is the most common, either college fracture or torus fracture or whatever. Means there is a lot of fractures. It can be it can be torus, it can be green stick, it can be college, it can be Smith. So most common fracture in children are radius ulna, distal radius ulna. Then you have in elbow, if they ask, then supracondylar humerus. If other than distal radius ulna, it is a clavicle. Okay, so if you don't remember clavicle, it's okay. You should remember these two things. So you just remember this one because you have lot number of college, Smith, Taurus, green stick. Okay, all in distal radius ulna. Supracondylar humerus in elbow. Okay, so these two things you should remember. Now come okay. So this is what is epiphysis, what is diaphysis, what is metaphysis. I already told you. Still again we'll start with DMER. So it's DMER. Okay, it is Maharashtra Director Medical Education, Director Medical Education Research. So the center one is diaphysis. This one is metaphysis. Then this is epiphysis. So in between metaphysis and epiphysis, in children there is a physis. The physis is known as growth plate. Okay. So in children's only you can find this physis. Okay. So physis is very important for growth. Whenever your physis got injured, okay, if this physis got injured in children's, the growth will be stunted or retarded. So in children's, the main importance of your fracture treatment is only related to physis. So every time you have to see in children's if there is any fracture, your physis is intact or not. If your physis is intact, then means growth would be there. Either it may be deformed or maybe normal, whatever. But if the physis is injured, you have this retarded or stunted growth. Okay. So physis is most important. So this is known as growth plate. Okay, it's also known as growth plate. This is epiphysis upper, diaphysis, and metaphysis. Okay. So in just an X-ray for showing you what is this physis. So this you see this one. Okay, this is your physis. Okay, you see this. This is your physis. So sometimes students get confused between physis and fracture. Okay, so if you are confused with physis and fracture, you just try to see both bones. Okay, so fracture cannot occur at these two bones at the same level. Okay, the first thing you have to see the both bones. Okay, the other thing you have to see, like if you see radius, there is a fracture, you think it is a fracture, you see Allah, you see the same level, there is a something, so you, it is mostly physis. The other thing between differentiating between fracture and physis is the contour. Okay, so if fracture you have a ragged as a ragged edge ragged. Okay, so it is not circular or smooth, while physis is always circular smooth. You see this is how much smooth is. Okay, this is very smooth. If fracture can occur like this. Okay, so fracture they don't have any shape, while physis always have a circular or as a smooth shape. Okay, so these are the physis. You see these are the physis. So if there is any fracture, you have to make sure that this physis should not get injured. Okay, so that is related to physis. If I am speaking very fast, just let me know. So there is a one classification. Okay, so it's very easy. I will tell you. This is a Salter Harris classification. It's known as Salter Harris classification. Okay, of physial injury. Okay, now this is very useful mnemonic. Okay, so Salter is SALTER. So S is slipped or separated. Okay, where there is a, you see there is a metaphysis. So you see this one. So there is a metaphysis, there is a epiphysis. In between there is a physis. Okay, so first is slipped. So if the metaphysis and epiphysis के पास जो physis होता है, if there is a slippage of metaphysis over epiphysis, you see this one. So the physis का जो है ना separation हो जाता है. So epiphysis अलग, metaphysis अलग हो जाता है. Physis का पूरा separation हो जाता है. So that is slippage or separation. So S is denotes that. A denotes मतलब above. तो ये physis के ऊपर अगर fracture होता है, तो अगर ये physis है, physis के ऊपर fracture होता है, तो type 2 हो गया. Third is L for lower. तो physis के नीचे अगर fracture होता है, so it is third. Type 4 is a T, through and through. So it is epiphysis, physis and metaphysis. Okay, ये सबको लेते हुए जाएगा, that is type 4. Type 5 is इसको बोलते हैं rammed या crush. So between epiphysis and metaphysis it is crushed. Okay, so that is type 5. Okay, so we'll again revise it. Salter is S4. So you see this one. So this is type 1, that is through growth plate. So there is a slippage of growth plate or separation of growth plate. So epiphysis and metaphysis both get separated. Okay, so इन दोनों के बीच का connection टूट जाएगा. Okay, so see this, I cannot feel my epiphysis. So this is type 1 Salter. S for separation. Type 2 is above fracture. Okay, so physis के ऊपर fracture होगा. So this is the lower end. Okay, ये femur का ये lower end है. This is physis. तो इसके above fracture होगा. तो this will get fracture. Okay, you don't have fracture of physis. Physis का इसमें fracture नहीं है. Physis के ऊपर fracture है. fracture above physis. Okay, so this is through growth plate and metaphysis. Okay, type 3 is lower. Okay, so through growth plate and epiphysis, lower की तरफ fracture होगा. ठीक है. Type 4 is through and through physis. Okay, so physis के through and through fracture हो रहा है. Okay, so it is fracturing epiphysis. Oh, sorry, it is fracturing epiphysis, physis, and metaphysis. Okay, type 5 is rammed or salter rammed. Rammed means crushed. So between epiphysis and metaphysis, this physis got crushed. Okay, so उसका कम हो जाता है. So these are the 5 classifications. You just have to remember the names. Okay, type 1, 2, 3, 4, and Salter Harris. Okay. These are the physial injuries. ये physis के injury के classification है. Okay. Now come for so type 6. अभी in many books it is written at type 5 only. There's one more type 6 is nowadays in the market. इसमें you don't have to remember anything. You just remember one thing. Perichondrial ring. Okay, so ये important है. Perichondrial ring. Okay, so type 6 is perichondrial ring. तो ये क्या होता है? ये physis के पास एक यहाँ पे ring की तरह रहता है. Okay, so this is a epiphysis. Above this, you just remember perichondrial ring. Don't go into the details. Type 6. It is very rare that people will ask you type 6, but if they ask you type 6, you just remember this. This is a perichondrial. ये chondrium के बाहर रहता है. This is perichondrial ring का injury. Okay, so this is type 6. Okay, it is epiphysis out of perichondrial ring. So if they ask, they will ask perichondrial ring. So perichondrial ring is type 6 Salter Harris. Okay, now so type 2, you have to go through type 2. So type 2 is the most common type of Salter Harris. So most common type of Salter Harris is type 2. Okay, in type 2 there's two things in Salter Harris you have to remember. One is 5 classification, sixth is perichondrial ring. In type 2, okay, so type 2 में कैसा था हमने? Type 2 we had learned Salter का A, so it is above fracture. So physis के ऊपर fracture होगा, तो physis के ऊपर ऐसा fracture हो गया. Okay, तो ये एक part हो गया. Okay, और ये एक part हो गया. So ये जो fragment है, this fragment, okay, this fragment, ये ऐसा वाला fragment, this fragment is known as Thurston Holland fracture. So it's like a thirst to, you just, if you don't remember, it is a thirst to Holland. Okay, Holland is a country. This fragment will lead you to Holland. Okay, so thirst to Holland fracture. If you remember Holland also, that's okay. So ये fragment को Holland fracture बोलते हैं, Holland fragment बोलते हैं. So Salter type 2, it is a most common. So इसके दो MCQ है. It is a most common type of fracture, and it is a Holland fragment. Okay, so you remember two things, two most common, Holland fragment or type 2 is most common. Okay. Now, so we'll again. I think I think Salter. We have already done Salter. There's nothing more in Salter. Okay. Now we'll come to some syndromes. Okay. These are many little syndromes. Okay. So you have to be very specific of about this. There are many MCQ on these syndromes. Okay. So one syndrome. This is a Klippel-Fill syndrome. Okay. So you remember the name Klippel-Fill. So it's like a what is it? Clip wala feeling hota hai. So if you are applying clip on your hair, the same feeling of clipple feel. Okay, so what happens in clipple feel? The problem, the main issue is, so it is a syndrome. So what do you mean by any syndrome? So syndromes have multiple problems. Okay, so only one issue is not a syndrome. So if you have some bone issue, if you have a radius issue, so it cannot be syndrome. So syndromes means multiple systemic involvement. So it have some effect on your brain, it have some effect on your heart, it have some effect on your kidney, it have some effect on your vascular system. So a syndrome means there is a lot of systemic manifestation. So syndromes never comes alone. Okay, so syndromes have many characteristics. Okay, so people feel is a syndrome. Okay, so we are talking related to ortho only. So if you go into patho, there is many, I think, translocation or chromosomal abnormality on clipper field, but we are talking of orthopedic, so we are related to only orthopedic. So in clipper field, what happens? So you just remember clip wala feeling. Okay, clip is like hair. Okay, so the problem is cervical में क्या होता है कि you have this 2-3 vertebra का fusion हो जाता है. So if you think your neck, your neck itna lamba hota hai. Okay, it is formed of 6 to 7 vertebra. If your two vertebra got fused, see this two vertebra got fused, so this the length of neck would be shortened. Okay, so the main problem of clipper field is there is a cervical vertebral fusion. Okay, so they see this girl have this 2 3 vertebra got fused. Okay, because of that the length of the neck got reduced. You see many guys or many people who have a very short neck. Okay, very short neck, there is no differentiation between the neck and the chin is actually at the sternum. Many guys you see, so this is a short neck type of syndrome. Okay, so the see this girl, this is a very short neck. Okay, see this one. So this is a clipper field syndrome. Okay, so this is typical of clipper. So what you see in clipper field is, you see first thing is, see this is your neck. Okay, so this is your shoulder. Okay, this is your neck. So neck is already shortened. Okay, first thing is neck is shortened. Then the other side of neck is directly into the head, so it is known as webbing of neck. Okay, what is webbing? Webbed neck bolte isko. Webbed, webbing of neck. So why it's known as webbing? If you see duck's web, okay, so ducks kaise webs, you can see duck's web. Okay, so ducks kaise webs hote hain. So same aisa ekdam, there is no neck and it is directly into the head, so it's a webbed neck, not short neck. We never say short neck. Webbing of neck bolte hain. Neck look like webbed. Okay, pehla thing ye hai. The second issue in clipper field, because of the neck, you have short neck, the hair would come into low hairline. So if you see, अगर if you have a 7 cervical vertebra, your hairline is like this. आपका hairline is up to this. Okay, if your vertebra got short, okay, if you have neck got short, so obviously your hairline would be low. Okay, so if see if this is the your neck length. Okay, so this would be the normal hairline. Okay, but since your neck got short, so this hairline would appears to be lower. So there's two things. One is short neck. The second thing is your hairlines look lower. Okay, so lowering of the hairline. Okay, lowering of the hairline. Neck का क्या होता है? Shortening and webbing बोलते हैं. The third character you can see is, you see a scapula here. Okay, so see this is one scapula and see this is his scapula. Yes, yes, this syndrome is very common and it comes in exam. Okay, every exam you will find this syndrome. Okay, see this is your scapula. Okay, so if you see one scapula is on the higher side than the other one. So this, remember this image, you can remember clipper field. Okay, so this have a scapula elevation of one scapula, low hairline and short neck. Okay, you see this is the webbing of the neck. Okay, so clipper field, you have this hairlines, low hairline, webbed neck and elevation of scapula. So clipper field is short web neck, low hairline. Obviously, there is a restricted neck movement because there is a fusion of cervical vertebra. So neck movement obviously restricted. There is association with this. Okay, so obviously any syndrome have multiple association. So they have an association with scoliosis. So any cervical issue. So if you have a cervical vertebra issue, तो हो सकता है कि there may be some lumbar issue. So there may be scoliosis, there may be kyphosis. Okay, then maybe then torticollis. I will tell this one what is pharyngeal shoulder and what is torticollis, and then we'll come ahead. Okay, so the main issue is ki if you have some problem in cervical spine, there may be some problem lower down. Okay, there may be problem some lower down of the spine. Okay, so we'll go forward for what is pharyngeal shoulder and what is torticollis. So what is pharyngeal shoulder? So pharyngeal shoulder and clipper field are mostly related to each other. Okay, so this is pharyngeal shoulder. So what is pharyngeal shoulder? So pharyngeal shoulder में क्या issue होता है? This one scapula will be higher. So see this scapula and see this scapula. So in a pharyngeal shoulder ये scapula ऊपर रहता है the other scapula से. So this is known as pharyngeal shoulder. So it is a congenital issue, okay, where there is a high scapula होता है. Okay, so this is pharyngeal shoulder. नाउ कम. तो नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि स्कैपुला डिसेंट होता है. ओके, यू जस्ट रिमेंबर स्कैपुला डिसेंट होता है. बट समटाइम्स अगर स्कैपुला ऊपर से नीचे आता है, मतलब यू कैन से कि C7 या C5 से या C3 से नीचे C9 तक आता है. बट समटाइम्स क्या होता है, ये स्कैपुला का इसके साथ अटैचमेंट हो जाता है, कुछ लिगामेंट से कुछ अटैचमेंट हो जाता है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एक descent होता नहीं है, the other get descended and one scapula do not get descended. Because of this, one scapula looks higher. So it is because of the failure of descent of scapula you have this syndrome. Okay, तो ये देखो, ये नॉर्मली एक बार बनता है, इसको बोलते हैं ओमोवर्टिब्रल बोन या बार बोलते हैं इसको. ओके, सो एक बोन बन जाता है स्कैपुला एंड सर्वाइकल स्पाइन के बीच में. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, this scapula did not descend and so it is looks elevated, so this is known as pharyngeal shoulder. Okay, so what is the operation? It is known as Woodward operation. Okay, so Woodward operation, so if you remember, सिर्फ नेम याद रखना, Woodward operation बोलते हैं. वुड, लकड़ी की खपच्चे लगा लेते हैं यहाँ पे से. इसको क्या करते हैं वुडवर्ड ऑपरेशन में, ये ऑस्टियोटोमी करते हैं एंड फिर नीचे लाते हैं. सो इन बोन, इफ बोन में क्या है, कुछ भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है, देन इट इज ऑब्वियसली ऑस्टियोटोमी. सो बोन में कुछ भी नहीं समझ आ रहा है, इफ देयर इज एनी डिफॉर्मिटी, कोई एलिवेटेड है कोई नीचे है, डू ऑस्टियोटोमी. सो इट इज अ टाइप ऑफ ऑस्टियोटोमी व्हिच इज नोन एज वुडवर्ड ऑपरेशन. सो यू जस्ट रिमेंबर वुडवर्ड ऑपरेशन, अदरवाइज दे, if they had given in MCQ osteotomy, so mark osteotomy. स्कैपुला ऑस्टियोटोमी बोलते हैं उसको. ठीक है, सो द एसोसिएशन इज द सेम, द क्लिपल फील्ड के साथ स्पेंजल शोल्डर, स्पेंजल शोल्डर के साथ क्लिपल फील्ड. ओके, स्कैपुला का इशू है, सो इट कैन बी स्कोलियोसिस, काइफोसिस, वर्टिब्रा रिब एनोमली हो सकता है. ओके, नथिंग इशू. Now this is very important. I don't know which batch was there, but I have shown this patient to one of your batch, third year or second year. So this is a very common condition in children. So it is known as transient. Okay, transient. Why it is known as transient? Because it is a for transient period. It cannot be like chronic for 6 years or 6 months or 2 months. Or it is very transient. 15 दिन 20 दिन का the problem of this. Synovitis means synovium का inflammation. Itis means inflammation. So transient means for short period. साइनोवियम का इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ हिप, हिप जॉइंट के साइनोवियम का इन्फ्लेमेशन फॉर ए शॉर्ट टर्म ऑफ, इट इज नोन एज ट्रांजिएंट साइनोवाइटिस ऑफ हिप. तो सी दिस इज ए साइनोवियम मेम्ब्रेन, ये साइनोवियल मेम्ब्रेन, यू कैन सी दिस. ओके, ये साइनोवियल मेम्ब्रेन होता है हिप जॉइंट का. सो बिकॉज ऑफ सम इन्फेक्शन इट गॉट इन्फ्लेम्ड. ओके, इट इन्फ्लेम्ड हो जाता है. बिकॉज ऑफ इन्फ्लेमेशन क्या होता है, ये ऐसा इन्फ्लेम्ड हो जाता है. ओके, इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ साइनोवियम, साइनोवियम इज ए सॉफ्ट टिश्यू, तो वहाँ इन्फ्लेमेशन हो जाएगा उस सॉफ्ट टिश्यू का. सो क्या होगा, इससे पेशेंट को पेन होगा, वॉकिंग में पेन होगा, तो लिंपिंग होगा, पेशेंट को पेन होगा, पेशेंट चलेगा तो थोड़ा सा लिंप करेगा बिकॉज ऑफ द पेन. ओके, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ एनी बोनी इशू, देयर इज नो बोन इशू. ओके, there is only synovial pain. Okay, sometimes you got inflammation in your elbow, you have elbow pain, the same thing, because of the synovial soft tissue there is a pain in the hip. It is mainly in children. Okay, so transient synovitis of hip in children. Okay, so so there are many names of transient synovitis. One is observation. Why it is not observation hip? You have to only observe, you don't have to do anything, just observe. Okay, it is also known as irritable hip because it's irritable pain, giving you pain, and it is also known as toxic synovitis. Okay, so synovitis means synovial inflammation which is a toxic, okay, to the baby. It is known as toxic synovitis. These are the two different names of the transient synovitis of hip. Okay, since it is a transient, so it is a self-limiting. It is a itis, synovitis, so it is a inflammation. Most common cause of hip pain बच्चों में 10 साल से छोटे बच्चों में it is a most common cause of pain. Okay, what happens in बच्चों, there is a URTI. So normally क्या होता है, if the बच्चों got some cold cough. Okay, so because of that cold cough, because of that virus, or so there may be some reaction going inside the body like autoimmune or something like that, which gives, which because of that infection, so that infection do not reach that synovium. Okay, it's not an infective synovitis, you just remember, it's not an infection. Okay, because of the infection in body like some URTI, there is some inflammation in the synovium. Okay, there is no infection. Okay, so there is an inflammation of the synovium. Okay, which leads to this. Okay, so it is a recent history. So if you ask the bachchu, there may be some issue of URTI. Okay, mild fever may be problem, may be present because it's not a, so virus. So there's a issue of, see, virus and bacterial में क्या issue होता है. So every bacterial में high fever होता है, virus क्या होता है, mild fever होता है. Okay, so even corona, if you see, the fever is very mild grade. Fever never in virus go. So if somebody says I have a high fever, so unlikely it is a virus. Unlikely it is a virus. It is 100% bacterial. If the patient have high fever, so obviously virus is in URTI. It is a common complaint of virus. So it is a mild fever. So mild fever रहता है, ठीक है. Normally with synovitis क्या होता है, hip में pain होता है. So hip will adjust into the best position. Hip will try to be in that position that would be the best suitable for the hip. So the best position for hip is the favorite position. So Faber. So the attitude of hip would be flexion, abduction, and external rotation. So you just remember this favorite position. Any issue in hip, the favorite position would be Faber. So flexion, abduction, and external rotation. Okay. So in TSH, transient synovitis, the kid would be like in Faber position. Okay. Obviously this ESR, CRP, WBC. Okay, so these three things, these are inflammatory markers. For inflammatory markers, if there is any bacterial infection, so these are the inflammatory markers. So since it is not an infection, so these all go to be normal. Okay, if it is increased, then it is some bacterial infection which is in septic arthritis. It is not a septic arthritis, it is a transient synovitis. It is an inflammation. Okay, it is an inflammation, there is no infection. Okay, so they seems to be normal. Okay, if you see in x-ray you will see normal because there is no bony problem, there is only soft tissue problem. Sometimes in sonography you can see joint space widening, but these are very rare. These are very complicated cases. So this you think you remember two three things for MCQ. One thing is x-ray looks normal because there is no bone issue, there is only synovial issue. This this infective or inflammatory marker would be normal. Okay, it is a self-limiting, most common cause of pain in bachchu in less than 10 years. Hip attitude would be in favorite position. Okay, so what is treatment? You have to observe, bed rest देने दो बच्चे को, कुछ पेन किलर्स दे and observe. Okay, so observation is the best thing. Okay, so transient synovitis is like gynec obstetrics. You have to observe everything, you have to observe. Okay. Now, so septic arthritis is the bhai of the step brother of transient synovitis. Okay, so in this, there is a bacterial infection. Okay, so bacterial problem in the hip joint. And ESR CRP would be raised. The fever would be higher. And in this, if you see on X-ray, okay, so if you see X-ray on hip joint में, if you see septic arthritis में ना, ये सारा physis को damage कर देगा. It will totally damage the physis. Okay, so septic arthritis is a very dangerous thing in बच्चों because it start damaging the physis and there will be reduced growth of the stunted growth. So obviously we'll start with an emergency antibiotic start karte hain. If there's a pus collection, you drain it. If there's requirement, you do the surgery also. Okay, so everything should be done in septic arthritis. Well, transient synovitis arthritis mein, you just have to observe. Okay, now this is torticollis. So see, this is a very I don't know. So if you see torticollis is, you see this is normal stature. Okay. So your head lies on your neck. Okay, in a vertical plane. But sometimes because of some deformity, your head lies this way. So this is a torticollis. So torticollis means your head goes on one sided. Okay. So this is known as torticollis. But this is he do for style. But some people have this type of deformity. This is known as torticollis. So this is congenital muscular torticollis. So why it is known as congenital? Because बच्चों में होता है. Why it is known as muscular? Because muscles का contraction होता है, जिसके कारण neck का deformity होता है. Because of muscular torticollis एक side में होता है. Also known as wry neck बोलते हैं इसको, wry neck. I don't know why wry बोलते हैं. You just have to Google it. Why it is known as wry neck. Okay. So most common cause of torticollis बच्चों में most common cause of torticollis क्या होता है? Muscles का contraction होता है. Sternocleidomastoid का contraction के कारण you have torticollis. So your head would be turned to one sided. Okay. So क्या ऐसा होता है? Because of this contraction of this sternocleidomastoid. Okay.